Hey guys, it is the J-Man. Day 9 of my 13 days of Halloween. We're that close. Today, I watched an interesting film today. Not your typical slasher movie. I thought I'd mix, one because it's my favourite filmmaker of all time, and two just because it's a really good freaking movie. I watched Kevin Smith's TUSK. Thought about the film. Kevin Smith is my favourite filmmaker of all time. He's a great writer, he's a great director, and he's just hilarious. I think he's one of those guys you love him or you hate him, you know, because he's most famous for his Jay and Silent Bob films, you know. A lot of people don't. You either, again, you love him or you hate him. I think they're hilarious, you know. My brother Andy doesn't like him, you know. He's mostly just dick fart and weed jokes, really, but I quite like that. That makes me laugh, really. Basically, you're used to seeing Kevin Smith do fairly wacky comedies. So this is very, very different for a Kevin Smith film. It is funny. It starts out as pure comedy, and then like halfway through the film, it kind of takes a turn. The thing is, I feel like he sells himself short in this film because I feel like it doesn't really need to be a comedy, because I think everyone's like, oh, that's a silly idea for a film, a guy who turns into a walrus, but it's actually a brilliant movie in my opinion. You know, you have to listen, you have to figure out what's going on, but I think it is actually brilliant. So it's not your typical dick fart and weed jokes. This is actually I'd say this is a legit horror movie. It's not a scary film. It's got a creepy vibe to it. It's messed up. There's some fucked up shit going on in this movie. It's a pretty disturbing film. Kevin Smith is probably a little bit disturbed for actually writing this. But I actually think this is some of the best writing he's done in his career, personally. Basically, you've got your main character, Wallace, as played by Justin Long. Not a newbie to the horror genre. We know him from Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get them peepers? Yeah. He plays a podcaster. And to quote him in the film, it's, for those who don't know what a podcast is, it's kind of like a radio show, but it's not on the radio. So it's like him and his friend Teddy, who a lot of people know him as a famous child star. Teddy was Forrest Gump's son, amongst other films. I watched this with my mum, actually, and she's like, where have I seen that guy before? I don't know, I recognise him from anything. And I was like, Forrest Gump's son, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's him under the beard. You know. Yeah, so basically they have a podcast. I'm going to spell this out. It's called the Not See Party. Not the Nazi Party. The Not See Party. Basically because Justin Long goes off, sees all this wacky shit, and then on the podcast, he talks about it to his friend Teddy, who did not see it. That's the gist, you know. So, yeah. Basically, he sees his friend Teddy sees a video on YouTube called the Kill Bill Kid, and basically this kid's doing all of his mad katana skills. I say mad katana skills. It's not that great. It's a bit, you know. And then basically he starts swinging. He ends up cutting off his own leg, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I got to interview this kid." So Teddy stays at home, and Wallace, our hero, goes off to Canada to interview this kid. I love the bit at the airport, where he's talking to the guy at the desk, and he's like, "Us Canadians never sad, eh? So you look at that flag, red, white, but never blue. That's profoundly beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. Apparently Canadians aren't polite all the time, they're just optimistic. I respect that. I respect that. Yeah. But don't diss hockey. You diss hockey, you upset people. That's how you upset Canadians. They're very polite, but if you diss hockey, that hits them in the heart, man. I see that, you know. I love where and sadly he goes to this kid's house, and the kid's dead. I don't know what happened. But the kid, I think he tried out another video or something, ended up cutting himself again or something. I'm not sure. The kid's dead. And the family's mourning. So he's like, what the hell? I can't just go back and not have a story. So he's like, I've got to find another story. And he's like, phones up Teddy, and he's like, there's no stories here. There's nothing weird about Canada. It's so boring. So, you know, he's at the bar getting a bit. He's had a few drinks. He goes to take a wee. You know, he goes to take a leak. And at the urinal, he sees a flyer on the wall. An old seafaring man, who's looking for a lodger, a roommate. In his vast house. He's not interested in buying the room, but he thinks this old seafaring man, he's got a lot of tales of the sea, so he thinks I'll interview this old man, maybe he can tell me something about the sea. And I think you'll notice about this character if you watch the film, he loves like huge icy slushy drinks. Don't ask why one buys an icy in Canada. You know, I'll be wanting coffee or tea or something. I don't drink coffee, hot chocolate or something. Tea. I mean, apparently the old man makes one hell of a cup of tea. Apparently he puts brandy or something in the leaves and lets it dry in there. That's fascinating. That is. Anyway, so he stops off at the best named Canadian shop ever. The A to Z. And A to Z, right? But I mean, A, because apparently, according to Kevin Smith, Canadians say A a lot. And Z, because America is Z. That is the best name for a Canadian shop ever, the A to Z. And he's served by the two girls, the Colleen's, Colleen and Colleen. I've forgotten this, Colleen C and Colleen, the other one. And they are played by Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith. What a fucking name, man. You know? Everything he makes up is amazing. I'm calling my fucking daughter Harley Quinn, man, because he's got fucking balls. I respect that. You know? And the other Colleen is played by Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp. What a fucking pair. Yeah, I mean, I think the two girls are like best friends. They've like known each other in school. And I think they were both on set. And then Kevin said to Johnny Depp, do you want the girls to do a scene together? And he's like, alright then. They thought the scene was so good, you know, they actually gave him a movie later, but I'll get to it. Yeah, Johnny Depp, the biggest actor in the world, is in this movie, this teeny tiny little movie with a budget of only $3 million, you know, which is, I think, perhaps Kevin Smith's lowest budget film. I'm not sure. Was it $6 million was considered bare minimum for Mallrats, and then the sequel to this film, Yoga Hosers, sequel / spin-off, got about $5 million, so this could be his lowest budget film. Though his new one looks pretty low budget coming out, so we'll see what happens with that one. Not Jay and Silent Bob, he's got a few projects going on. I love that he's looking for somewhere called the Bifrost, and that's if those who don't know, that's a Thor reference. The Rainbow Road, that, you know, leads to the transporter room. That's the Bifrost. That's clever. I like that he did. He's slipping in these comic book references. I'm getting no colour for some reason in this video. It's like not even fading in and out. It's just there's no colour in it. That's alright. This is how we did it in Victorian times. Yes, Victorian times. Yeah. You know, and after the girls making fun of him, they eventually give him like an address, you know, and he goes finds the old man's house in the middle of fucking nowhere. And creepy house. I take a shot for the creepy house. The old man, he's not even looking for money. He's like, you know, you get the room for free in exchange for doing household chores, because, you know, he's an old man. He can't be expected to do all the chores. I mean, if he didn't plan on, spoiler alert, plan on killing people, You know, that sounds like a pretty sweet deal. You know? Yeah. And we said if you're going to go somewhere to die, you might as well do it for free, right? Yeah. And he goes for it before hearing the old man's story. He goes to take a pee. He takes a few pees in this. He loves those big icy drinks. And he's got one of those toilet roll ladies, like, you know, they got like a knitted dress, and the toilet roll goes under the dress, to make the dress look flared. And he turns it around because he doesn't want her seeing him pee, which is just, it's such a little bit, but that's so funny, man. This old man's got an electric wheelchair, and all I'm thinking is Professor X. That's so bad. I mean, but that's all I'm thinking. And he's telling stories of the sea. Apparently, this old man was actually friends with the famous writer Ernest Hemingway. Well, holy fucking shit! This dude must be fucking old, though, right? Because I think this must be Nazi times or something. So I mean, he's probably like, what, I'll say 30s. This was like 2011 or no 2014. Is it 2014? So that's what. So you say he was like quite young. It's about 16 in the 30s. So 26 in the 40s, 36 in the 50s, 46 in the 60s, 66 in the 70s, 76 in the 80s. This can't be. He can't be that old. He can't be that old. This dude is like old. Like, I mean, he's an old man, but he must be like fucking ancient if he was like, you know, in the war. I don't know. I don't know Ernest Hemingway, man. I'm not a history buff. And he tells her, and he's on the way. You see this bone on the wall. It's like, bone is like, oh, what's this bone? Is it like a spine from a walrus? Actually, it's more like a walrus's dick. And then he just carries on playing with it, you know. He's just starting to do it. And yes, he does actually do this. He does actually do that. The first half of this film is a comedy. And he tells us about how he was lost at sea. He lost his ship and he landed up on a little rock, and he befriended a walrus who he named Mr. Tusk after a mentor or something. So, and him and Mr. Tusk saved him. He kept him warm. He saved his life. That's kind of beautiful for now. And basically, he carries on telling his story. And Wallace, Justin Long, is getting gradually more and more dazed and tired. And he's what's in this tea? And he passes out. And then the old man's like, "Enjoy your tea, Mr. Tusk." Why would he call him that? Oh, no. They say if you haven't watched this movie, I mean, why are you watching this spoiler-filled video? If you've not seen it, if you have seen this movie, I'm telling you shit you already know. I mean, that's the theme with these videos, man. I'm not changing it now. By the way, basically from this point on, the film is no longer a comedy. I mean, there's weird and silly stuff in it, but I wouldn't say this film is any longer funny. This is when the serious, dark shit happens. Okay, anyway, he wakes up. And he wakes up in a chair. And a blanket on him. And he's like, I've been asleep for like 3 days or something, And what happened? A spider climbed up your leg and bit you. This old man can't act for shit. I mean, he's a great actor, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, the old man is bullshitting his fucking tits off, And he's like, oh, look, a spider climbed up your leg. And a Dr. Mossier was here, and he helped you out. And he's like, okay, alright, I need to call my family. Oh, Dr. Mossier took the phones out because, he didn't want you to be disturbed. That's fucking insane. Why would you take the fucking phones out? He doesn't have his mobile. And he is, I can't feel my legs. And he takes off the blanket. and one of his legs has been fucking amputated. You know what I mean? So there's no running now. You're stuck in that fucking chair. Yeah. The irony, though, is because he did a podcast set up to make fun of the kid who cut his own leg off. And now, of course, he has had his leg cut off. And so I think the thing is almost like, taking responsibility for actions. Like, actions have equal and opposite reactions. You will get... It's like karma, isn't it? You know? I mean, he was making fun of this kid, which his girlfriend wasn't happy with at all. She even got up mid-blowjob to tell him off for going to make fun of this kid. Yeah. Don't take a shot, though. There is no boob shot in this movie. Kevin Smith doesn't usually go in for that. I mean, he has gone in for that before. But, I mean, he doesn't usually go in for that kind of thing, so no boob shot in this movie. Yeah. And, They have dinner. The old man cooks him dinner. Then they're sat at the dining table. The old man's eating his dinner, and he's like, "Why aren't you eating? You're not hungry." And he's like, "Oh no, are you not hungry?" And he is like, "It's not. I'm not hungry. I can't move my arms." And he's like, "Oh, the morphine tends to make people very sleepy." And he's like, "I'm not sleepy. I'm fucking immobilized." You know, you don't want him leaving that chair, you know. And this is when you find out, the fucking when the old man starts laughing and singing Itsy Bitsy Spider, because the little spider apparently bit his leg, even though he fucking didn't. And that moment where he's fucking singing the song and laughing to himself, holy shit, this guy's fucking insane. This guy's a fucking sicko. And then it's got a few flashbacks. So like there's the interrupted blowjob where she tells him off. Said he's kind of a dick. He's not the same person he used to be, because now he gave up who he was basically to become a famous comedian in a sense, I love the way though his friend Teddy's like, "You don't understand art. I understand art. There's like cartoons of me everywhere, like him on Batman, like Batman on with his face on him." And he's like, "It's like a mausoleum." I love that, mausoleum. I'm gonna fucking paint a picture of me with Batman's body, Definitely have the bod for Batman. Shut up. Yeah. And then you see, basically after a few of these backs, a little, I'm going through my notes here. One of the flashback scenes, you see his girlfriend talking to, but she's basically talking to the camera, and she's saying, "I hate him because he's going off and fucking other women when he's doing his stories. I hate myself. One, because I, have cheated on him, and two, because I let this guy break my heart." And then later in another progression, you find out she is in bed. She's saying this in bed to Teddy, Wallace's best friend. Holy fucking shit, that's a twist, right? Our hero Wallace is not the nicest of characters. That being said, doesn't deserve all this shit happening to him. He didn't deserve to lose a fucking leg. He don't deserve to be immobilized and kidnapped. But it gets worse, because Mr. Howe, the old man, Howard Howe, that is his name, he starts constructing a walrus suit. Now, I know you think that sounds ridiculous, it sounds too silly for a horror movie. Maybe, but it's still fucking sick. I mean, basically he's made out of human skin, he's amputated the leg, and basically Detective LePointe, Johnny Depp's character, he believes that he's using the amputated legs to create tusks out of the tibia bone, to be placed, in the top of his jaw, and he's made a suit, full of blubber, and there's like fucking ears and fucking faces on the side of this suit. I mean, Kevin Smith intended this film to be a comedy, but it's actually fucking fucked up, man. It's insane. I mean, I love it, but it's sick, man. And basically, he's basically stitched his arms to the side of his body, put him in the fat suit, like, made of human blubber, essentially. And he is now, in effect, a walrus. He looks like a walrus now. He's, and bear in mind, he can't come back from this now. This is 100% done. He's not human underneath this anymore. He's basically just a face, a stump, and some hands. That's basically all that's left of him. He's not the same person he was anymore. There's no cutting him out of the suit. Because the suit is like being stitched onto whatever skin's left of him. That the arms are now fused with the side of his body. He's no longer a humanoid shape. This is a place of no return. And basically, the old man, in effect, wants him to be the new Mr. Tusk. He wants him to be his new friend. And he orders him to act like a walrus. For example, he even cut out his tongue, so he can't even talk anymore. So all he can do is grunt and go, like a walrus would. Again, you might say that's silly, it's too comedical, but it's fucked up. It's horrible. It's horrible, Yeah, I wouldn't, personally, for me, I wouldn't play along. I wouldn't act like a walrus. I'd give this fucking old man nothing, because he's like, I'll do it or die. Is life at this point worth living? There's no going back from this. You're fucking stuck in this walrus suit. It's probably just do nothing and hope the old man kills me. There's nothing you can do about that. Anyway, he before he goes in the suit, he manages to phone his girlfriend and his friend, before he gets caught, knocked out, and then zipped up into the suit, So they're on their way to Canada to find him, and they're talking to the police detective, played by perhaps the greatest voice actor, second to Robin Williams himself, Ralph Garman, who I think is like Kevin Smith's best friend or something now. They do a lot of movies together now. They have a show together, Hollywood Babylon. They're the dude. Ralph Garman's like the dude for voices. Trust me. He does a good Arnold Schwarzenegger, which he does in the second. He does a lot of voices in the second movie, actually. Yeah. And they basically tell him this one. To tell the truth, this detective is fucking useless. And it goes back to the old man's house, and he's basically got him. He's got him in a friggin' tank, with like there's water, there's rocks, and he basically drops him in the water and basically says he's got to learn to swim. And as he's sinking into water, he sees the bodies of all the other people he's done this to. So there's like walruses with like human faces, like human skulls. Again, it looks silly, but think about it. That's fucked up. He's not only is he doing this horrible thing to someone, he's done it before, And I guess these were all the people who didn't live up to the test, So he's like fighting for his life, So he starts trying to swim, etc. And then they're looking for detectives to find him. His girlfriend and his friend stumble upon this very eccentric French-Canadian detective, Guy Lapointe, who is played by Johnny Depp. He's super eccentric. And he tells them a story about how he met a character called Bartholomew Mossier. And obviously that was the bullshit story about the Dr. Mossier. I believe that was Howard Howe, the old man. And he's basically playing an idiot. He's pretending he has no idea what's going on. He's complete idiot with a silly voice. And Johnny Depp saying now, several years later, he thinks that the old man, that seemingly stupid old man, was actually the mastermind behind this whole plan. Yeah. I want to point out as well, the old man's not doing this for no reason. When he's stitching the suit together, he's talking about how, I don't want to go into too much detail on this because it's fucking horrible. Basically, he was in effect sold to like some like nunnery or something, and wealthy people would basically be paid to just come in, like they'll pay money and they'll basically become allowed to basically beat him, like, you know, molest him, any fucked up desire in their head they wanted to do, they could just pay the nunnery money and they'll just let him do it. And apparently the nuns had a crack at it as well, you know, the nurses, lawyers, priests, everyone had a fucking crack at this guy, and that's fucking horrible. I mean, what I say is that how does that shit not break you? I mean, I'm not saying it turns you into a serial killer, but how does that not break you, you know, inside, you know? And the only person who, you know, his only real friend in life was his pet walrus. So I don't know why he couldn't just go to the zoo and nick a walrus in his. Well, I think it's like humans are the real animal, like, you know, because humans are evil, walruses are nice. I mean, I don't agree. I see his point. I see how he drew that conclusion. So basically, like, why be a human when you can be a walrus? Again, sounds stupid and comedical, but that's fucked up. He turned him into a fucking walrus. You know. And they're on. It cuts between the two scenes of the girlfriend and his friend trying to find him, and obviously him as the walrus. So it goes to you know, his girlfriend and friend with Detective Guy Lapointe, Johnny Depp, and they want to retrace his steps, and she says, oh, he always goes for a icy before a road trip. So they stop at the nearest roadside shop, which happens to be the A to Z. So they ask the cleaners, and they're like, oh yeah, he wrote the address on the pad of paper. I mean, obviously he took the piece of paper, he took the post-it stamp off paper, but his keen detective skills kick in, and he like runs the side of the pencil along it, and you can see the outline of the letters, and he finds the address. And I was like, you got that from The Great Lebowski. I did. That is a really good movie. I can't do that. That is a really good movie. The Big Lebowski. So basically they find the address and they're on their way there. And I love that he's got his suitcase and he hands them both like revolvers, you know, and Teddy's like, I don't want a gun, and he's like, what kind of American turns down a gun? That's a fucking burn right there. And she's just like, take the fucking gun, Teddy. So he takes the gun, and then he just gets a, I will take the big one. Of course you're a fucking man, ain't you? I'll take the big one. I'll have the shiny shotgun. He's fucking polished shit beforehand, hasn't he? I mean, that's probably like, he calls it Lucille or something, probably, doesn't he? Yeah. And the next scene of the film is, anyone who's not taking this film seriously is probably where some people want to lose it. Where basically the old man gets his own walrus suit, not one he's actually stitched into, you know, he's just wearing one, you know, as a suit. And he is like, you have to become the walrus. And he challenges him to a walrus fight. There's no way to film that scene without it looking completely ridiculous. I mean, if for anyone who's not seen two walruses fight, imagine two greased up fat dudes rolling around each other. That's the only way I can look. They're just doing. That's what they really can do. I mean, it doesn't look good, to be honest, but I mean, I get it. And I think he said the only way you can win this fight is like, you either let me kill you, or you tap into your animalistic instincts and kill the old man. And you know, say, why did the old man want him dead? Because the old man would have then achieved his goal, and if he makes the decision to kill this old man, I think there's little commentary in the credits. They have a little commentary, and I think they said from a clinical point of view, that's like the point of no return once you make your first kill. In like, you know, when you've got a choice and that he chooses to kill him. So I think that's like the moment where he'll say, and his friends find the house. They burst in, only to find our hero Wallace stabbing the old man with his tusks, kills the old man, and so I think it's good has prevailed in the end, but the old man, you know, I think the old man achieved his goal to make him go fully animal in effect, and Johnny Depp sees them and he holds the shotgun to his face, and I don't know if he's saying do it. You don't know what he's saying. Is he saying do it, or is he saying don't do it? He's just grunting. He's going arr, arr, you know. Personally, if it were me, I would have said fucking shoot me. That you can't live your life as a fucking walrus, you know. And then it cuts to the scene, and you don't know what you do. And then it's like basically the girlfriend and the friend have gone to the zoo, and he's in the zoo in a little doghouse, and they throw him a fish. He's like eating the fish. About to say, they've stripped away his humanity by this stage of the film. It's such a terrible. I mean, again, you might not take the film seriously. It's such a terribly sad film. It's not even scary. It's terribly sad. Yeah. The only redeeming thing about it is, I think, it shows a little flashback, and it's like the girlfriend's. I think she's saying the only thing that separates the animals from the humans is the fact we can cry our emotions, you know. And she says to him, I will always love you, I think, even though she's fucking his best friend. And he cries. So I think the idea of that little shot at the end was he does still have that little bit of humanity left in him, the fact that he has emotions, you know. I'm not saying animals don't have emotions. I think that's just, you know, where the scene was going, you know. And that's the end of the film. I mean, I think that's perhaps some of the best writing Kevin Smith has ever done in his entire career. I mean, it's a horrible film. I mean, take the film seriously. I take the film seriously. I mean, I think Kevin Smith, he intended it to be a comedy. You know, he didn't really put too much on. I think he almost sold himself short in a way, because I think it's such a good story. It's horrible, but it's such a good story. I mean, again, Kevin Smith, you love him or you hate him. This film did not rate well at the box office, I don't believe. And I think that's unfair. I think everyone saw Kevin Smith, expected a Jay and Silent Bob movie. So those who didn't like Kevin Smith ruled it out before they even watched it. And I think some of the people who did like Kevin Smith almost didn't like it because it wasn't a Jay and Silent Bob movie. You know. So I'm just going to say this now. If you haven't watched the film, don't watch it and read the ratings. Read the ratings after you've seen the film and made your own decision about the film. You might still hate the film. You might love the film. I personally think it's a brilliant film. It's a brilliant story. So go and watch it. I mean, my mother, my Kevin Smith hating mother, who does not find him funny, she didn't find this film funny or comical. She actually said it was a really good film. It's horrible. It's warped. It's a little bit fucked up. But my mum actually really enjoyed this film. I think that's got to say something, you know. If she's not a fan of Kevin Smith and she liked it, you know, that's got to mean something. Yeah. I mean, it's just such a sad story. I mean, I wouldn't even say it was good did prevail in the end, but it's not a happy ending by any stretch, really. Horrible ending. I'm going to ask myself a few questions. Does the walrus suit look good? Probably not. I mean, if the film's only got a budget of $3 million, though it depends in what sense you mean. Does he look like a real life walrus? Probably not. Does he look like a guy in a war suit? Yes, he does look like a man in a suit. But the fact is, in the film, he is a man in a suit, you know? And it's not like... The guy's not like a tailor. He's not like, you know... I mean, he's literally just constructed this out of bits and pieces of human skin. So how good could the suit look? You know, I mean, that's probably what the film would... If this film was real life, that's probably what the suit would look like. You know? So I'm not going to diss that at all. I mean, again, remember this only got a budget of $3 million. So, I mean... but that doesn't change the film for me, I mean, in any way. I mean, again, it's not about, you know, CGI. It's not about looking a specific way. It's about the writing and it's about the directing. I think this film is written and directed so brilliantly. Yeah. Is this my favourite Kevin Smith movie? Probably not. Me again, the writing is probably better than a lot of his other films. I mean, I think he put his heart and soul in his writing Clerks because he wanted his first film to be really good, and it was, you know. It's just a really sad film. This isn't a film I'd watch. It's not a feel-good film. I mean, I kind of came out of this film feeling really upset for the character. I mean, I mean, it's not a feel-good film, not like a lot of his other films. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob makes me laugh, makes me smile. Mallrats makes me laugh. You know, all his films are usually hilarious, but this is again, I think this film is more deep than he intended it to be, because again, he wrote it as a comedy, but it's actually really deep. You know, it's a very saddening film. I'm going to point that out now. If you go and watch it, you know, it's a very saddening film. I mean, I take it very seriously. You might not want to take the film too seriously, because bear in mind, 50% of this film is comedy, 50% of this film is pure horror. I mean, not scary, but it's horrible. I mean, is that what horror is? Something that is horrible. But I think it's a way better movie than it gets credit for. Because the film didn't rate very highly at the box office. Which is it's a terrible shame, that, because I think this is one of the best bits of writing he's done his entire career, and his other films have done really well, you know. I'm considering doing a second video on this, just to sell it to those who like a spoiler-free video, shorter than this one, just, you know, to say to anyone who's not seen the film, give it a try. And don't go into it with a hate-filled mind, because I feel like if you're going to watch a movie and insist you're going to hate it, you're not going to get the best. I always like to, even if I'm not optimistic about it, go into the film optimistically anyway, even though you think it might look bad, and point out everything that's good about the film. And you'll learn, and you might just love it for those points you point out. I mean, you might say the film was shit, but I love this bit, I love that bit. You know, so watch this film with an open mind. Don't view it as a comedy or don't view it as a horror. Just view it as what it is. You know, just, you know, see what, you know. Yeah. So I mean, if you haven't seen this film, because it's not a super famous film. I mean, Kevin Smith, I think, is a lot bigger in the United States than he is in the UK. But I mean, it's not his most famous film by any stretch. But it's a damn good movie. So if you've not seen it, please go out and give this film a try. Do it. I mean, I got the film at HMV on DVD for $5.99, 2 for a tenner. I mean, that's not bad for a brand new DVD. Yeah. I mean, it's not an expensive movie. You can get hold of it. I mean, yeah. And I say now, this film does have a sequel or a spin-off. Only thing I'm going to say is, though, this film's 50% horror, 50% comedy. The second film is listed as a horror, but it's basically 100% comedy. It's like 98% comedy and like 2% horror. Yoga Hose. Yoga Hose stars the Colleens, the two girls from the A to Z, played by Johnny Depp's daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter. They did a scene together, and they thought they did so well on their scene they should give them their own movie, and that's where the story went. They had a whole film, and it's a good film. I think I might even prefer Yoga Hoses. I mean, again, the writing I think is better in Tusk. Some brilliant writing's gone in, but Yoga Hoses is a funny film. It's like, never have you ever seen a film that's like, I mean, you could describe it as Clerks with girls in Canada with the added spice of it's a horror movie. But Clerks is not wacky comedy. It's usually more the dialogue, you know, and it's actually quite... Believe it or not, it's actually quite intelligent humour in Clerks. Yoga Hose is probably the little bit less cerebral side of Kevin Smith's humour. Kevin Smith's humour. It's just funny, like the two girls, I mean, they're just two normal high school girls, you know, they're about, how old are they, about 14, 15 in the film, going to a high school party, you know, and like the two guys come to them instead of coming to the party, you know, so they have a little party in the shop, and it turns out these two guys are Satanists looking for, I'm guessing, two virgins to sacrifice to Satan. Yeah. And then you've got those two men are murdered by, you're never going to hear this ever again in any other movie other than this movie, tiny Nazis made of bratwurst. Bratsies. Yeah. That's where it goes. Yeah, so basically they end up fighting a bunch of these Bratsies, and then they basically take them to the crazy guy who created these things. And they have a face off with him, yada yada yada. The detective is in this because he's finding out who murdered all of these people. So it is a sequel. I say it's more of a spin-off than a sequel, but it does have recurring cast members. Justin Long plays a different character in it because Kevin Smith loves using his same actors again. So it's nice that Justin Long was in this, because obviously he couldn't return as the same character because his character is in a friggin' walrus suit, right? But yeah, he's in this. Hilarious film. Again, don't take this film too seriously. This is TUSK, I think I take the film very seriously. Yoga Hosers is just a very silly film. Watch it purely as a comedy. Yeah, it's just funny. I love Kevin Conroy, who does the voice of Batman in the cartoons of it, and he goes and buys some cigarettes, and they slam them on the desk, and like, hey, that's not very Canadian of you. And then, sorry about that. And then he's like, how rude. And then the best line, the guy who does the voice of Batman, come on, Robin, we're leaving. And he's got his son with him. Of course his son's called Robin. That's so funny, man. So clever, man. I mean, it's obvious, but it's not obvious, you know. Yeah. Hilarious film. Hilarious. More comedy than horror is Yoga Hosers. I believe there is a third. I mean, it's delayed, sadly, but I believe there is a third film in the works. Little is known about this. The film is going to be called Moose Jaws. But the only way to describe it is Jaws, but with a moose instead of a shark. But it's a spoof, in effect. It's just a really silly film. I believe it doesn't take place in the same continuity. It takes place, I believe, in the same continuity as Tusk and Yoga Hosers. It's third in the True North trilogy, but not related to his previous films. But apparently, as a joke, unrelated to the timelines of the other films, the moose is going to eat Jay and Silent Bob. I think he just wants to see them die, but then they're going to return in their film like it never happened. So it's like not even related to those films. Maybe it's like a parallel universe or something. But I think he just really wants to see Jay and Silent Bob be killed. I'm sure many other people would like to see Jay and Silent Bob get killed. I'm a big Jay and Silent Bob fan. He's on my wall here. This sign poster I have for Traz Possession, and Johnny Youngbosh from Power Rangers, don't leave him out, and Finn Balor. Yes, my sign. I have a few sign shit actually. Hardcore Holly is over there, big Hardcore Holly fan. Yeah, pointing out my shit. How vain of me. But yeah, that's basically all I've got on this specific film. I had to do a Kevin Smith movie. I mean, I'm doing all of these films on my list are pretty standard slasher movies. But I was like, I want to put a Kevin Smith in there. One, because Kevin Smith has done horrors. I enjoy these movies as much as I do Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, yada yada yada. But it's just a damn good movie, and not enough people have watched this film. More people need to watch it. Watch this film, make Kevin Smith famous again. No, we want a big budget for Jay and Silent Bob's reboot, which is happening officially. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I really do encourage people to go out and watch this film. I think this film is brilliant. I mean, again, don't rule it out because it's silly. Because it's, I mean, again, it's still a brilliant bit of writing. So yeah, one of my favourite films. But again, I'm going to point out it's not a feel-good film. It's a pretty sad and disturbing film, but still a brilliant film. So yeah, I had to do a video on this. I can confirm tomorrow's film. Tomorrow, the 28th, will be. Day 10 will be talking about Freddy versus Jason. You could say, dude, that's your third Friday the 13th movie and your second Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Well, yeah, you know what? Why? Because damn it, I make the rules. I mean, I like the Friday the 13th series because it makes. I think I prefer Nightmare on Elm Street, but Friday the 13th has more different directions it goes in. Because you've got Jason's mum, you've got Jason running around killing people, then you've got Jason versus Tommy Jarvis, then you've got Jason's dead, Jason's ghost. You know, now Jason's back from the dead and fighting another famous horror villain. You know, it makes sense. Oh, and he's been to space in the future. Every possible direction Jason has taken. You know, all I'm doing now is my pitch. Bride of Jason. Make Bride of Jason. Make it a comedy, but do that movie. Yeah. So yeah, Freddy vs. Jason's tomorrow. On the 10th day of Halloween. 11th day of Halloween, I'll be doing Halloween H2O, the 20th anniversary film. 12th day, I'll be doing The Shining. And 13th day, on Halloween, the 31st of October 2018, I'll be doing YouTube picks. Comment on any of my videos, I'll read all comments. And whichever film gets most comments, I'll watch and do. I'll try and do a reaction video. I mean, I can't put the film in, but I'll probably put it on a separate screen. I might do it with headphones in, just so there's nothing of it, because I don't want to get this video. My first two videos were blocked, sadly. If you want to see my first two videos on A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, drop me a comment and I'll find a way to get that video to you. But yeah, drop a comment. Tell me what you want to see me watch. Make it as scary as you want, if you like. It can be anything. Why not suggest another Kevin Smith movie? I'm always down for Kevin Smith movies. Yeah. Said it a few days running. It's not killed me yet. I'll be right back. Yeah. See you tomorrow. J-Man out.